Welcome to the introductory video on the Shenandoah, Rapidan, and Potomac Railway. In this video, we will explore the roots of the railroad and its construction. The Shenandoah, Rapidan, and Potomac Railway, or the SR&P, began its existence as the Easton and Potomac Railroad, which was the creation of Keith Stillman. Over a 15-year period, Keith built and operated the Easton and Potomac Railroad, holding over 160 operating sessions. Upon his untimely passing in late 2019, the E&P Railroad lay dormant. However, his widow did not wish for it to be destroyed, but rather asked if it could be moved and kept in service. I answered her call and began planning on how the railroad could be moved and reassembled in the space that I had available. Keith's E&P Railroad occupied a 288 square foot room. However, I only had 168 square feet available. This would require me to evaluate the most important pieces of the railroad and how they could be removed and reassembled into a new configuration. More information on the Easton and Potomac Railroad can be found on its website at eastonandpotomac.com. A layout tour of the Easton and Potomac is also available on YouTube at E&P Railroad. Over a 3-month period, multiple plans were drawn up, redrawn, and decisions were made on what sections had to be eliminated because of the reduction in space. The primary goal of this process was to retain the basic operation plan of the railroad. Reconstruction started with the installation of several large sections: Whitehall Yard, Thorny Point Yard, Broadway, and Stanley. Then the smaller sections, such as Brook and Flat Top, were installed. A section of hood was able to be retained, and a new section of hood had to be constructed. Keith did not design the E&P to be dismantled, but his construction methods did lend themselves to disassembly in manageable sections. The sections that could not be used in the creation of the SR&P were saved, and many items were salvaged for reuse on the new railroad. The E&P utilized a helix to access the upper sections, but it required too much room and was replaced with a nolix to the upper levels. This required using a swing bridge and a lift bridge to access the interior aisle. The last spike was driven on the railroad approximately 9 months after the E&P was deconstructed. The first operating session was held shortly after this with 2 operators, and the first meet of trains on the new SR&P occurred in Hood. There was still much work to be done, but the railroad was back in operation and ready to provide enjoyment to the operating crews as it had in the past. In future videos, we will explore more of the SR&P. Hope you've enjoyed this recap of the construction, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button to get the latest video. And thanks for watching.